I mean, it feels okay. Not the bracelet. Whoa. When I went to pull it, it literally felt like I could have just snapped it with my fingers right now. What's going on, guys? Anthony for Chronometer Check here, and today we have something really interesting for you. This is the cheapest automatic Submariner Homage or Submariner clone, depending on how you want to look at it, that I could find on Amazon when I bought it. So, we did go over another watch from this brand, also equally cheap. It was a Pilot watch. Actually, it was cheaper. So that one was $16. This one was $22. And of course, you know, depending on when you look, when you're watching this video, it may be cheaper or more expensive. But yeah, so let's get right into it. I know unboxing, literally the actual unboxing part is not the most interesting, especially when it's just a box. So we're going to just break out the watch, and it comes in this sort of like plastic wrapping, blah, blah, blah. Let's just get this out of here. Nothing too exciting there. And whoa, again, just like the last watch, on first glance, don't get me wrong, it's not the prettiest piece. You could tell right away it's definitely looks a little cheap, but for the price, I was expecting, you know, a 99-cent store piece of garbage that I was just planning on, I don't know, kind of just like, I really don't know what I was planning on doing with this, to be honest, but I definitely wasn't expecting anything spectacular. But the finish of the dial is actually rather mesmerizing, and that was something that I thought was going to be, you know, sometimes you see something online, it looks okay, and then you order it, and it comes and it's just not at all what you expected. And I'm not going to lie, as far as appearance, first glance, this definitely exceeded my expectations, and it's definitely finished. I'm not going to say it's finished well, but it's finished a little bit better than the $16 Pilot watch that we did review. You could check that out in the description. But yeah, so it has this beautiful lime green dial. It's a little bit more bright green than, say, the Rolex Hulk and those types of watches, as well as the bezel insert itself. Now, this does seem a little bit more vintage Rolex Submariner inspired with these small lume pips, the smaller case size. You see, it's not so bulky like the new Maxi case. And yeah, just overall a little bit more vintage inspired, but I don't mind it at all. Now, the plating, again, it says stainless steel on the website or the listing. I'm not 100% sure how accurate that is to me. The polish links, man, it just looks like cheap chrome plating to me. Whether or not it's stainless steel, I'm not actually positive, but I mean, it feels okay. Not the bracelet. Whoa. When I went to pull it, it literally felt like I could have just snapped it with my fingers right now. Wow, that's actually kind of hilarious. Yeah, again, with these cheap watches, they spend all the money on the watch, as they should. So then the bracelet, you get it, it's pretty much disposable. You could just throw it out literally the second you get it and not miss it one bit. But as far as the finishing itself, it kind of looks like a cheap chrome plating to me. It could be stainless steel for all I know, or it could be just the case bag of stainless steel, and then they use that as an excuse to call the watch stainless steel. I'm not completely sure. So let's give this it is an automatic watch, by the way, something I forgot to mention. And that's pretty much the main draw of this super affordable piece that makes it kind of fantastic. It's an automatic piece for $22. I know there have been other iterations, some Mariner homages and other cheap brands like this, like I believe Tavis. But now, since the popularity of that watch, the price has gone up to about $40 at the time of recording this. And yeah, so if we take a look a little bit closer, it does have all the pretty much standard Rolex Submariner cues, design cues. It has the Mercedes hand, the lollipop second hand, the applied embassies. Whoa, okay, what do we have here at the 6 o'clock position? I'm not sure if you could see that, but on the 6 o'clock embassy, it looks like there's a little bit of a paint chip. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Yeah, but again, you know, with such a cheap piece, you're not going to get amazing quality control, and you kind of get what you pay for. But yeah, so there is a date wheel on the right-hand side with a Cyclops, which does absolutely nothing for the magnification. You know, I don't mind the look of a Cyclops usually, as long as it has some function and it kind of actually does magnify the date. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm actually going to see if I can remove that myself, but This, I'm almost positive it's going to be mineral crystal, not only based on the cheap plasticky feel, but also the fact that it was $22, and, you know, can't have it all. So we do have this these crown guards on the side. It is polished all over as far as I could tell. Yeah, even the bezel is polished, so it's just polished straight up all over. Now, as far as the bezel, oh wow, that feels weird. It's very tinny, very noisy. It's not it's not uncomfortable to click. It doesn't take a lot of force, but it just feels there is a little bit of a click, so I don't want to say it's not satisfying, but it doesn't feel secure. It doesn't feel like it bottoms out with each click. And oh boy, there's a lot of backplay. Oh boy. On first glance, or first feel, for a second, a very split second, I'm like, oh wow, this is a bi-directional bezel. That's really weird for a Submariner. But no, there's just so much backplay. Like literally 4 seconds, 3 seconds of backplay. That's super, super weird. Again, you get what you pay for. I wonder if, oh, wait. I was going to say I wonder if I could fix that somehow, but it feels like the bezel is not even clicked into place. So I'm definitely going to take a little bit of a look at that later, and I'll, you know, kind of discuss my results in the full review, which I will be doing a full review on this, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's try to change the time. Okay, so just like the Pilot watch from this brand, the crown is so difficult to get out. You have to break a nail or 2 or 3, or just break out a screwdriver or something, because it's definitely not fun, not ideal. It's not a screw down crown or anything. It does say 30 meters water resistant on the site. I don't trust that one bit. I'm not going to lie. I would not take this thing even anywhere near close to water. But, I mean, I've been wrong before, so who knows? Maybe I'll give it a shot, whatever. Worst case scenario, $22 watch down the drain. We'll see. But anyway, as far as the actuation for the time, not the smoothest, and it takes a lot of turns to get this to, you know, move even a little bit. So that's kind of a bummer. And kind of disappointing. I have no clue what movements they use. I try to look it up. It just says Swiss movement. Obviously, you're not going to get a Swiss movement for $20, but what are you going to do? And also just something something I just noticed right now that's kind of funny is they actually put the brush links in the center and the polish links on the side, which usually it's the you never see this. And it's kind of course, it's not done well in the first place, but also I'm not a fan of that design. I guess to each their own. Now, as far as changing the date wheel, once you eventually pull out the crown, I actually had to use a tool for it, but it's okay. It's fine. It has quick set. What are you going to do? It's not, you know, the most satisfying. You don't hear like click or anything. And again, the Cyclops kind of bugging me, but whatever. These are little gripes that you can't really complain for $22, and that's going to be kind of the overall gist of this. Yeah. Now, as far as the movement in the back, I have, again, like I said, no clue what movement, but it does have a display case back. That's kind of interesting that for $22 they would choose to display such a cheap and frankly kind of ugly movement. It doesn't represent anything of aesthetic beauty, if you will. It's just there. It is what it is. It's a mechanical movement. You can look at it. It's not one that's particularly pleasant for me to look at, but I guess the point is that if you're buying such a cheap piece, it's probably your first mechanical watch, and I guess it might be fascinating just to see the movement anyway, no matter how lack of attention to detail they put into it. Okay, got out my handy calipers here with the plastic edge. Now, of course, you don't want to get some metal calipers because it might damage the luxurious watch we've got in front of us. So yeah, let's take a look at the dimensions real quick. It is about 40, just over 38 millimeters, so almost 39 millimeters, maybe even 40. No, just over 38. Yeah, so it does wear relatively small-ish, so that's going to be kind of interesting with the crown. It's more like 41.5. Now, as far as the lug to lug, you got about 44.5 lug to lug. So that's going to fit on a variety of wrists. I do have 7-inch wrists. We're going to check that out in a second. And lastly, but not least, you have a 11.5 millimeter in thickness. So that's actually relatively thin, and I kind of like that. I kind of like watches that are more on the thinner side. And it does have a 20 millimeter bandwidth, and it tapers down to, who cares, you're not going to keep it on this bracelet if we're being honest. It tapers down to about 16 millimeters, so kind of a handsome design. I really like when it tapers down that much. It makes it look nice and elegant, but again, you're probably not going to keep it on this bracelet, or maybe you are. Maybe you don't want to waste even the cheapest of NATOs on this thing. So I'll be sizing it up in the full review, but just to show you how it wears on my 7-inch wrist, and again, you see that dial is just rather striking in the light for $22. That's my favorite part about this watch. I chose to go with this green. They did have a bunch of other colors, but this green is something that I'm not really too big into green watches in general, so I figured I'm not really going to go splurge on a, except for maybe the Seiko Alpinus. Oof, beautiful. But yeah, I'm not going to go splurge for the most part on like a green watch, and this is probably my probably going to be my only one for a while, so I figured why not, whatever, even if it's terrible. What are you going to do? And I actually don't mind the way it looks. Again, the bracelet, it just feels so cheap. The watch itself does have some nice wrist presence and some weight on the wrist. You actually feel like you do have a mechanical timepiece on your wrist. It's like just wearing any other watch with an automatic movement. It doesn't feel like you just bought something from a dollar machine or a 25-cent machine. How much do those machines cost now? I actually don't know. But yeah, I will have a full review coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget, we did review the Pilot style watch from the same brand, Winner or Phantomus, on the website, depending on, it might be different depending on when you actually look. So check out that review or the first initial unboxing in the description below. I will put the review in the description also for this watch, the full entire review once I've had some time wearing it and seeing how it actually performs. And so you can check that out in the description below. Don't forget to check out the blog, chronometercheck.com, for more information and the full written review. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Stay tuned for more.